Hey, I'm popping in just to give a quick video update about my home building journey. I am, if you've watched any of my other videos, which aren't being watched, so I'll backtrack. I am building a home with Ryan Homes, and it's a new construction home. I signed my contract back in February 23. At the time, interest rates were 5.5%. Now, I intended on going with a Hometown Heroes down payment assistance program. So they cover up to, at that, the one that I was originally going with, they cover up to $25,000 in down payment and closing costs. So I still had to give Ryan Homes $10,000 because with Hometown Heroes, you can't secure your funds until close to closing, and Ryan still wants their down payment before they start building the house. So what's happening now is that since February, interest rates have gone up significantly. We're now at 7%. With Hometown Heroes, you can't lock in a rate because, like I said, it's a different type of loan. You have to go through FHA, and you can't lock in your interest rate, and you can't lock in your funds until 45 days out of closing. All right, so what I didn't know is that you also cannot buy down your interest rate, which is a big problem for me. One benefit is that the Hometown Heroes interest rate is different than the market rate. So right now the Hometown Heroes rate is 6.25, which is only a little bit more than what I was quoted. I was actually quoted 6% because my lender was projecting that the interest rates would go up a little bit. So I was like, okay, the last time I checked with my lender, I was okay with the 6.25. It's a little bit more. But now we're coming up on another Federal Reserve meeting on the 24th, 25th, where it's expected that interest rates will go up again. And I am not willing to go up on my interest rate any more than what it is. That will price me out of the market. I'll be done with this whole thing. So I contact my my lender and I let him know, hey, maybe we need to go a different route. Maybe I need to go ahead and lock something in, buy down my interest rate, talk about those other options, go with a conventional, because I have a credit profile where I can qualify for pretty much every loan. So I asked him about that, and he pretty much kicked the can around. Is kind of like, you're just flowing in the wind here, just get to the end and see what happens. But no, I need to kind of take the keys, take control of this vehicle now, because I know what I can afford and what I can't. And that's really important when you're buying a home, is for you to sit in the driver's seat. Don't let all these people, your realtor, your lender, mortgage broker, whatever, don't let them sit in the driver's seat of the 30-year mortgage you're about to have to pay. You need to be in the driver's seat, because they're just concerned about their commission and they want to get it. And most of them, not all of them, there are, I'm sure there are good ones out there that you have to kind of look around for, but they're concerned about their commission, that the easiest, softest way possible get to the end of it and get their commission. Really all they care about. You're the one gonna be paying your 30-year mortgage at the end of the day. And so my being the nice, I could just go along, it's okay, it's not gonna work. Now I'm doing this all by myself, so I have to figure out what I'm gonna do, what I'm gonna accept and what I'm not. So fortunately, in my community, because it's a new community, it's all new constructions homes, everyone in that community has bought a home within the last 2 years with Ryan Homes, and they all have different experiences with the lenders and all that stuff. So there's a Facebook group, and I can put questions in the Facebook group to kind of see like what kind of experiences other people had and what they did. So I put my question in the Facebook group, and I said, I didn't get a rate lock-in because I'm going with Hometown Heroes, and now the rates are about to go up again, and I still don't have my mortgage rate lock-in with Hometown Heroes because I'm too far out from my settlement date, which is in September. And several people in that group had the same experience as I did, and with the same person they were working with, and they talked about how they went with someone else, or how they ended up working with it, but how they had to kind of drive the what was going on, how they had to threaten to leave the mortgage company to get a loan somewhere else in order to get some action taken for their person to start advocating for them getting the best loan. So my experience was not unique, and it was comforting but not to see that it's not unique. But what's comforting about it is I'm not blind to what's happening anymore, and I could do something about it. So that's number one. Always shop around, always ask questions, always see what other companies do, how they manage their process to getting you a home loan. So I also found out that some of these companies will lock you in 90 days out. If I would have done a rate lock-in early, I could have locked in my rate. That would have been good for 6 months and not gone with the Hometown Heroes. So that's kind of important, because right now the person is telling me they can't do anything. Well, he actually sent me an email because I was saying I can't afford another rate hike, so that's going to price me out the market. And he kind of sent me like a threat, but I called his bluff, and he said, you need to contact the Ryan Homes because you might lose your deposit. But I already knew I wouldn't lose my deposit, because when I signed my contract, they said even if it's my fault, if I don't end up getting the mortgage, I get my deposit back. So I did contact Ryan Homes, my salesperson, and I CC'd my lender on the email. And now all of a sudden he's sending me emails saying, let's look at some other options, different types of loans. If you look at the thread, I've been asking that since like one of the last 5 email exchanges, but you didn't want to do anything. Now you want to do some work. So that's a problem for me, because now he's disrupted my trust. So whether or not I'm going to start over with someone else, I don't know, because I almost feel like most of them probably operate similar way. But maybe, I'll get, more honesty and effort up front now that he knows that I'm on top of stuff, and that I sort of understand what's going on here. And so that's important. You're buying a house, you kind of need to understand what's going on and how everything works. If you don't, you got to ask questions. And that's one thing I think has kind of been helping me, is that I am asking questions. I'm not only asking questions to my lender, I am using the other resources like Facebook groups, home buyer groups, other lenders, and other professionals in real estate that I know of, because the people you're working with may not always tell you all of your options. And then also their fees and their protocols are different than other companies. There may be another company who has a fee schedule and a protocol system with how they lock in your rate and all that stuff, buying down your rate that might work better for you. My dog is mad at me right now for being out here too long. Another thing that I found is that with Hometown Heroes, one major issue with Hometown Heroes, if you're going to do a pre-construction loan, is that you cannot lock in your rate until you're close to closing. So right now in 2023, where I'm in the summer of 2023, not being able to lock in a rate is not a good thing, because we know that interest rates their plan is for interest rates to continue to go up. So if I don't lock in a rate, I'm looking at paying more than what I think I'm going to pay today. So, and then the other thing is you can't buy down your rate. Now, if I could buy down my rate, I'd be good, but not with Hometown Heroes. So I'm thinking about not going with Hometown Heroes and just paying my deposit, which they already have. I really would have liked to get my deposit back as planned, so I could buy furniture and stuff, but that's okay. I can save for furniture just like I saved for my deposit, and then let it take time. But what I'm not going to do is put myself in a 30-year mortgage that I know I can't afford, that's going to have me completely house broke. So that's my lessons learned. Looking at these down payment assistance programs and the stipulations with them, is it really worth the money up front? There are other down payment assistance programs that don't have these same type of stipulations. Be willing to rate shop, be willing to look at different agencies and see what their fee schedule is, what their protocols are for lock-ins and all that stuff. Buying down your rate, because they can vary. And advocate for yourself. Be in the driver's seat of this thing, because it's you at the end of the day. When I close on my house and I sign my paperwork, I might not ever see or talk to this guy that I'm working with on my loan again. But I'm going to be the one that's going to have to keep paying this mortgage and figure out how I'm going to pay a mortgage that I may not afford if I don't take control of what's happening now. Be willing to walk away if it's not right. If this doesn't work out right, I'm walking away from all of it. I mean, I'm still going to buy a home. I'm not going to sit around and not buy a home because I'm waiting for prices to come down, because in my area, the reality is my rent is more than my mortgage, and it's just awful. So no, not doing that. But I may find a different home, different terms, a different lender. I may have to look around for something else that fits me better. I love my community. I'm getting to know my neighbors already. I like the Facebook group, and I've been in the beginning of building this house. Right now, this week, I'm getting my drywall put up. I've already written Bible scriptures on all my frames, and all that stuff may make you feel like you're really committed to that home and seeing it through despite the cost, no matter what. But you can't think like that. If you think like that, you're going to let yourself get bulldozed on things that you could probably change. Now, I am praying that I still have this home at the end, but nowhere in my communication with them is no matter what. Whatever you say I have to do or pay, I'm gonna know. That's not how it's gonna go. If we can't do it in a way that I can afford, then I can't buy this house. And I have to understand that I have to know that I have to be able to walk away at any time, despite my Facebook posts, despite putting all this stuff up. That's why they say, don't put, stuff up until the end. I don't believe that, because it's all a part of my journey, and I'm sharing my lessons learned along the way, and I'm learning so much. Even if it doesn't work out, I'm learning so much for my next home buying process. But we'll see what happens. So right now, where I'm at with that is I am shopping around for a different lender to see, so I could put everything side by side and see where I will work out better. Maybe I stay with this lender because they do pay closing costs. Maybe I do stay with Hometown Heroes, but I stay on them so that I get my rate locked in before the 25th. Maybe I go with a conventional loan so I could buy down my rate and I get a lock-in, and I have to pay my my down payment, which they already have, and save for my furniture again. Maybe I go with the outside lender. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I am going to gather all the information to make an educated decision about how I go about buying my home. Don't just sign your paper, go with the lender, and cut everything off and not be educated about everything you're paying for. Because I'm seeing people in this group sharing their stories with me who have huge regrets that are hard to correct right now. It's really hard to correct some of this stuff, especially right now in today's market. Because think about it. Right now, my house already has $20,000 in equity in it, and it's not even built yet. So if I just keep going, if I'm one of those people with huge regrets in today's market where people aren't putting their houses on the market and interest rates are going up, you can't just jump out of that situation. You're going to have to go back to being a renter, which those prices in my area are going up too. So you can't just jump around, and buying a house is serious. And people will tell you, because they just want to move you along. They just want to move you along and get their commission. People will say, and I've heard too many times, oh, you could refinance. Well, it's not that simple. you can't always refinance. It depends on, you know, your equity, and, you know, if somebody wants to pick up your refinance, the value of your home, what is the climate in the market, all that's going to play a factor in you refinancing, and you can't guarantee all of those things are going to work in your favor. So you can refinance, is not just keep going because you can refinance. Also, refinancing extends your loan, extends the amount of interest you pay. So you gotta be understanding how things work, and not just let people move you along because they have their goal in mind when you're the one that's stuck with the bill. So that's that's where I'm at right now, and I'm gonna try to do better with coming in and giving these updates with how everything's going. Everybody, you know, if you have good intentions and heart, pray for me that things work out. I really do like the neighborhood in this house, but I just need to be able to do it in a way that's affordable. And so these people got to get to work, and they got to problem solve and do something. Not just say, oh, it'll be fine. No, I'm the one paying the mortgage. So that's my rant. Sorry, I kind of went more on a rant than I intended to. I hope I did like drop some, I hope I did give some helpful information, which is what the intention was for this video. But I will see you guys in the next video. Bye.